Hey guys, how you doing? Danny Colville here from Colville Outfitters, and we're doing our first ever Gear of the Month review. And since we haven't done one since we've been open, and we've been open for 3 months now, I have a lot of things to show you because we're going to do 3 months worth of gear today. Also on this video, I'm going to show you how to do the very simple task of taping your center pin to your sliding rings rod. I get a lot of questions about this, and I try to explain it on the phone when I sell a sliding ring rod, and it seems like sometimes people can't grasp the concept. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and then we will and then if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below and I can answer it further. But this is going to be the best way that you're able to tape your reel on your rod and get no play whatsoever. So I'm going to start off with some new gear that we have here in the store. One of my favorite new products is the Red Wing Blackbird new colors. And they also now come in 4-inch and they come pre-cut, which is really great. Red Wing Blackbird is by far the leader in the industry in spawn netting, and they make the best and the most variety out of everybody. As you know, Mike's Atlas was bought by Potski, and they had changed their formula, and the netting just is much stiffer and thicker than it was before. So I've switched entirely to Blackbird, and I've been really happy with everything. They are missing a couple colors, so I will add some other shreds of netting into the bag to give the color that I am desiring in the egg sac. You can expect Blackbird to come out with the colors they are missing, which in my opinion is blue, and like a darker Salmon River blue, and a bubblegum pink. So right now they have a really nice Charisse pink, and it does work very well. And they do have this beautiful new champagne color, which is like a baby pink, but they're missing that bubblegum color. But I work with the owners, and they assured me they are working on getting that bubblegum pink that is so epic all across the country for steelhead and salmon fishing. So the new colors they have out for this year are Champagne, which is this one. Nice light pink color. We have Ruby, which is a reddish color. We have Tangerine, which is a little bit more orange than their peach, kind of in between a neon orange and a peach. Absolutely stellar color this year. I've added it as one of my essentials in my arsenal. You got to have this one. And we have a new yellow called Honey, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a golden sheen. And if you hit these under UV light, they actually turn different colors than what it looks like to your naked eye. And I truly believe that's why they're so effective. So they don't say UV on them, but they are naturally UV. Another amazing product that we've been carrying and been selling tons of is Varvas leader and lines. Varvas is a really high-end gear-specific manufacturer in Japan, and they have unparalleled line winding on all of their spools and leader, and the stuff is absolutely killer. I was a big fan of Sunline before. I do like Blood Run. Obviously, I love Chromium. But some of those options, we like to stray away from for different scenarios, and some of them we cannot get. So Varvas is very consistent, and their leader, I promise you, is second to none. They have a couple different options I really like. One of them is called the Big Trout, or the trout leader, and it says shock leader, and this is not to be confused with the leader that goes in between your main line and your leader. This is actually used as a leader line, so don't get scared if you see shock. It isn't actually a shock leader. They make this Big Trout in 7 to 20, and then they make the regular trout one in 3 to size 6. So they got all the sizes covered really nice. They also make a titanium coated leader, which is pretty cool. And then they have a light game leader as well, which really isn't for light game. I snap Gamakatsu glow bug hooks pretty easily in half with a 7 and 8 pound. So it's unbelievably strong stuff. And definitely go on our website and order some. You will not be disappointed. One of their other awesome products they have is called Absolute Fluorocarbon AAA. If you want a little bit bigger of a spool and a better value, this is the leader to buy. It's actually meant as a main line for jigging for, bass, or drop shotting for bass, but it just, the characteristics of it being soft, supple, abrasion resistant, clear, everything that good drop shotting fluorocarbon offers is what you get here, and it's what makes a great leader. It works awesome in cold weather. I can't speak highly enough. A lot of people have dropped all other brands and run this, and I've heard nothing but great reviews, and it is so thin and it moves so great in the water. I use one piece of leader for 2 or 3 good days of fishing, if you could believe that, as long as I'm not in Michigan fishing in a ton of wood and getting my leader snagged every other cast. But it's great around here in New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I would take it out west. I haven't been out west this year yet, but when I go, you can be sure I'll be bringing out the 12, 14, and 16 pound, probably the AAA and the big trout. That will be in my arsenal. One of the other really cool products out now is the AeroFloat Loafer style. This is a beautiful longer float that's got a 2-color top, bright orange and chartreuse, and you get this longer style float, which is going to give you that better all-around features. That's going to cast well. It's going to sit in the water properly. It takes very little, a lighter bite to submerge this float, and it's very easy to trot and slow down, and it's also great in the wind too. They're not going to be as visible as a trotter style, like a big water float like this, which now AeroFloat also has. And the trotter, or I'm sorry, the loafer comes in size 6.2, size 11, and size 15. He's planning on bringing out a size 8 gram, but these are really awesome if you're looking for an indestructible float for all different conditions. And if you need something a little higher vis that you're drifting really far away, he's got these new style here. This is the AF10, and it's your standard big water trotter. So really cool float. He's also, with the big water trotter, he's also brought out a slip float version, and it's all orange head, so you could see it from great distances away. For lighter biting fish and a little bit more honed in approach to Great Lakes steelhead, I would take the loafer style. And if I was fishing really great big giant water that I had to drift 100 yards away, I'd probably go with the trotter float here. And there's like an unbelievable size options for each one of these. But like I said, there is a 6.2, an 11, and a 15 in the loafer. So be sure to order those on our website. They're on there now. And yeah, so one other thing I'll tell you guys about here is we have a couple new floats from Blacktip, and these are in a whole different line of floats than your production floats. These are actually handmade, hand turned down. Each one of them is a little different. They all look different. They have pinstripes, they have artwork, they have different color shading, really unique floats. And these are a high vis, big top for like fishing Michigan where you're drifting far away from you. The whole body will be submerged, so you only have this top sticking up, and in this rounder, bolder top gives you a better visibility further away, while still giving you the same benefits of a loafer. So really cool from Blacktip. Really excited to have these. We have 7s and 9s currently in stock. They won't last long, so if you do want them, they are on our website. You can stop in the shop as well. We do have a couple new rods available. We have a few custom rods in the store. Absolutely beautiful. Couple carbon fiber grips here. Custom reel seats, custom handles, nice butt wraps, and we have the really nice guides on them, which are the C guide, silicone nitride high frames, which you'll see on most of our rods that we sell. There really isn't a better guide for the bang for the buck out there for performance, and that's our overall choice for guides. We also have a new rod now called the Aurora that we partnered up and collaborated with C Guide. And we have these beautiful high modulus carbon blanks. There's a 10-footer, which is a 3 to 6 pound liter. All these rods are liter rating. They're not actually rated for line. So you can run any line you pretty much want. But when I say 3 to 6, that means it will protect down to 3 pound leader, and you could fish up to 6 pound line effectively without jeopardizing the blank when you're fishing it. So the 10-footer, like I said, is a 3 to 6. There is a 12-footer, super fast action, great recovery blank. That is a 5 to 10 pound leader. And then we also have this 13-footer here, which is a 6 to 12 pound leader. Again, fast action, lots of power, awesome Michigan rod, awesome West Coast rod. And the ones we have in the store, which is our factory version, I mean, they're more on the custom end of things, but they have this beautiful new tapered reel seat from Batson. And, you know, as you guys have seen in a lot of my rods, I do run the tapered reel seats. I personally prefer a rounded reel seat because my hand can sit a little closer to the reel, but everybody seems to like the tapered reel seats. And if you do them right and you keep them a minimum taper and a minimum bulb, you can get away and run them. But, you know, I got to compliment Batson and Alps. They came out with this beautiful seat, really high end, as high end of a seat as I've ever seen. It's got this nice textured rubber on the back side so your hand isn't sitting on the metal. Beautiful double locking nuts. And, you know, the machining of this reel seat is second to none. I haven't seen much on the market better than this. It doesn't have a recessed hood, meaning the metal is it lives on the outside of the cork, where most of the reel seats that we run go into the cork. So when your hand is resting on the reel seat, you're not touching any metal at all. That would be the only change to this reel seat if I could make one. But overall, to purchase a reel seat like this that isn't custom is a great thing. And you know, Batson is one of the companies that does lead the way in the industry. And I'm excited to offer these seats now. I don't think they're on the website yet, but they will be pretty soon. And we also have these beautiful custom butt caps. This is a Blurple Aqua Wash butt cap. Really beautiful. This would look great if you had a Blurple reel to go with it. And we do have those butt caps if you have a building project that you're going to do on your own rod, or you're going to send it to a builder. We also do have matching reel seat hardware, and we do have some inserts coming that I'll be able to sell you as well. And that pretty much takes care of the rods. I'm going to show you guys two new reels we have that you probably haven't seen on one of our videos. We have this new reel called the Mycelium, which is kind of a concave spoked version. It's a 5.35 currently. We are making 5.65s. For the future, and we are remachining the 3.95s, hopefully to have in time for the for the spring. We do have a bunch of 4.2s, so if you need a mini pin for trout fishing for April 1st, please give us a call ASAP. We have some on the shelf, and we can build some for you, but you know, get those orders in as soon as possible. We are running low on them, so first come, first serve. And we will have the 3.95 inch coming right behind those 4.2s. And we should have some 5.65s available for you for the fall and 5.95. So don't worry about that. Like all of our reels, you know, you could pick your spool, pick your back plate color, pick if you want any porting, and then pick your artwork out of the artwork that we offer, and you'll get yourself a unique reel that really is a one of one. It might be number 31 of 50 because we ran that many for that batch of reels, but it really is a one of one designed by you, and it's really cool to be able to have something special like that. Another really cool reel we have is a bunch of teardrops looking like they're rotating on a spool, kind of like curved. And this is called the Tempest, and it's a version of the Monsoon where the teardrops are just angled slightly different to give that kind of cyclone appearance. And this is an absolutely super cool reel, beautiful, classy, and we have a lot of different colors available. There isn't many of these. There was only 30 of them in the 5.35 inch batch, but we're going to be making this available in the other sizes, so stay tuned for that. And now I'll get to the taping the reel onto the rod. So what I have here is I have a bottom section of a Blood Run Pinland rod. This is a 10'6" 3-weight conversion. Absolutely awesome trout rod. Probably the best factory trout rod that you can buy in the industry, and it's under $200. It's a great bang for your buck. I can't speak highly enough about these. To be able to buy a rod like this on a website currently is a privilege. So if you're looking to do, really light steelheading or doing, inland brown trout, inland rainbow trout, brook trout, check this rod out. You won't be disappointed, and it balances great with any of our 3.95 or 4.2 inch reels. You'll feel like you have a little toy in your hand that you're playing with on the stream. So it's really a cool deal. So the first thing I'll do is, when I'm taping the reel on, is I want to find where the sweet spot is, where the reel's going to go. So me personally, I like a little shorter rear grip than most people because I am casting, bringing the rod in front of me so often. So if I had a longer rear grip, it would be getting stuck in my jacket or my shirt, and it would be harder to cast. So I do prefer a shorter one, not as short as the guys in British Columbia and Canada that are casting two-handed like this. I do like about a 8 to 10 inch rear grip. You also, when you're deciding what length rear grip and you're going to be building a rod, remember that the reel seats have a couple inches of threading, and the butt caps are typically 1 to 2 inches. So just remember that. That is a very important measurement, but you have to use all of those things to get to that final number. And like I said, I like that 8 to 10 inches. So I know where the guy wants this reel on this rod. I've marked it with a tiny little Sharpie dot right here, and I'm going to be putting the reel on the rod now. So I got the spot where I want it, which he figured out was right at the back of his elbow, and he wanted to still tuck it into his armpit a little bit. So that I would guesstimate that being 12 inches up from the butt cap. So number one, you want to make sure that you put it in on the right side that you're going to be reeling. You don't want to do all this work and realize that the reel was flipped over to the wrong side. Kyle, whose rod this is, he is a lefty and he reels with his right hand. So we're going to make sure that when we put this reel on and it's facing down, it's going to be on the right side of the rod. You're going to be doing this upside down, so it's going to be looking opposite, like it's on the left side, but when you flip it around, it will be on the right side. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the spot he wanted it, and I'm going to slide the rings up to lock the reel in place. There's a couple different options for tape, but I like your standard, the highest end electrical tape you could find. There is a new tape that my friend Tom Varelli sent me, which is right here. I don't know much about this tape, so I'm not going to do it right now, but apparently it's a super stretchy tape with no glue, and you can pretty much stretch it out, and it will get like incredibly thin, and you won't even know it's on there. But I'm not going to do it for this video. So I got my blue electrical tape. That's just what I have. You can use black, whatever color you want. It does match the, it does match his purple reel, his blurple reel here. So that's kind of why I did pick the blue. Not that you're going to see much of it when it's all done. You'll only see one band I put around the bottom ring. So now at this point, I'm going to slide up either the front or rear sliding ring. It doesn't matter, but one of them needs to stay locked. So I'm going to slide the front one, or I'm going to slide the rear one first. So I have the front ring holding the reel onto the handle, and now I'm going to take my tape, slide it on the foot here, and it's very important that you don't overlap the tape and give yourself any creases. You want it as smooth as possible, and you want to create a ramp going down the foot so that that ring will slide up up on the foot really nice and smooth. And you don't want to put too much pressure this way because you could push the reel up and out of your position. So try to not put too much pressure pushing up on it. Really just put all the pressure on the tape. It helps if you have somebody also to hold the rod up for you, putting a hand here and putting a hand on the reel. And that way you can really keep it secure and make sure you don't drop it. It always is super disappointing when someone buys a new reel, they go to do this and call me and tell me they need a new foot because they dropped the reel on the ground and bent the foot. So as I'm wrapping this, I'm making sure I'm not getting any sort of creases. It's a nice, smooth, constant wrap going down towards the butt cap. And what I'm going to do towards the end is I'm going to pull this tape really tight and make it really thin. And then I'm just going to pressure break it. And then we're going to check it real quick. We're going to see if we need to add any more. Okay, so this is about perfect, as you can see. I'm able to slide that up. There's just a little tiny bit exposed, but overall, I'm really forcing this up and on the foot, and it's really locked in there good. Now I'm going to do the upper sliding ring and the upper foot now. And at this point, you could worry a lot less. It isn't going to go anywhere, so you don't have to worry about it staying up and being perfect. Also, another tip I wanted to tell you is most of these rods, especially the Blood Run Pinland rod, is a 4-piece. So be aware that you want to pay attention to your hook keeper and where you want your hook keeper when you're putting your reel on. If I had the option, I would put it on the bottom of the rod facing down the same way the guides are. That way when the rod flexes, it runs a natural bend of the rod. It isn't essential. You could put it, some guys like the hook keeper on the side, some guys like the hook keeper on the top because it gets in the way a lot less of the line flowing out of the reel, but it's all personal preference. I don't think they spine the bottom sections where it's in a way where it needs to go in a certain position. So you could pretty much pick where you want the hook keeper and then wrap it from there. Sometimes the logo might look a little funny. So just, overall pay attention to that when you're taping the reel on. Another tip, when you're doing this, this reel is spooled and there's a rubber band around it. You want to make sure you secure the line onto the reel because if you don't, the line's going to be getting into the way the whole time you're trying to tape it and it becomes a real pain. And as I'm doing this, I'm stretching the tape. So it might be, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm stretching it down to around 1/2 of an inch. And, bring your finger behind the reel like this so you're able to get kind of on the inside. And you can see it's a nice smooth wrap. There's no like ridges, or it's not doubled up anywhere. I know I'm in good shape, so I'm just going to pull down and break the tape at this point. Okay, there you have it. It's a second one wrap there. So now I'm going to force my second sliding ring down, kind of rocking it back and forth like so. Slide it down, and boom, we're locked into place now. And you can see there is literally, there is no play on this whatsoever. And oftentimes guys like sliding rings more because you're on the cork the whole time, and there's no reel seat, there's no metal. It's just you and these nice, carbon rings here. Super comfortable, slim. A nice little way to secure the reel to the rod. The one little extra thing I like to do is I like to take one band of tape, and maybe we'll stick to this. We'll stick to the blue electrical tape, but I'm going to add one band to the bottom ring. That way it will never slip down, and it's one extra level of security. You don't want to drop your $700-800 reel in the water. This one doesn't have to be as neat, but if you went through the process to make it neat, why not do it with this one as well? There you have it. It's all taped up, ready to go. No play, secure, tighter than a reel seat, I would even say. And a lot of years I just taped over the rings and not on the feet, and my reel would be, flopping around in there. It'd be wearing on the cork. Just a really crappy way to do it. Water would get trapped in there. Now it's all locked in, ready to go. Really great way to do it. And if you have any questions, like I said, you could call the store. The phone number is 716-627-7335, or you can leave a comment below. But I hope this helped you for you to tape your reel onto your sliding ring handle. And I hope all the gear I showed you were interested in and that you like to see. We're going to be doing this video every month, hopefully, moving forward, and we'll pick a new product to show you each time. All right, guys, I'll see you on the water, and tight lines.